Hi there and welcome to Dukascopy TV for today's Week Ahead. I'm Doireann Mc Dermott and right now I'm joined on the line by Jarratt Davis, a FX trader and consultant in London. Hi there Jarratt. Well, the big news hitting headlines today is the re-election of Italy's president. Now, what type of market reaction do you think this has had today? And of course, what are you expecting to see in regards to Italy this week?
Napolitano, he's been re-elected. That's seen as positive, basically seen as positive for the markets. This morning, I think the Italian stocks are rallying. I think bonds are up as well. Because basically, the only reason for that is just removes one layer of uncertainty. That's all it is. I mean, if you look at the grand scheme of things, it's a bit of a farce. But the fact that they've kind of got some kind of stability is seen as positive by the market. To be honest, I think Italy will play a secondary role to other things affecting the euro as a currency. Because we've got rumours of a rate cut coming up in June. We've got, concerns over the stability of the Eurozone economy. So all those things are kind of milling around in the comments that are coming through the newsfeed. So I think the Italian situation, of course, is important and it's going to play a role, but I do think it will be secondary over the next few days because there's lots of other things milling around that seem to be quite a lot more prevalent.
And in terms of the rest of the Eurozone, what are you expecting to see?
Like I say, we've got a lot of comments coming through. ECB members doing a lot of speeches, a lot of talking. One yesterday saying that there's potential room for a rate cut in June. We've got another one coming saying the exchange rates of the euro is kind of healthy, it's where it should be. So there's a lot of mixed messages coming out, but we're also seeing concern and other comments saying that the EU economy is nowhere near where it should be. It's not getting better anywhere fast. So that's what we're watching. I'm keeping my eye personally on the comments coming out just to see, because they're what's moving the market at the moment. Right now, the euro's bearish, and I expect those negative comments to keep coming out and to keep weighing on the euro sentiment.
And the UK has GDP data coming out on Thursday. Now, economists appear quite divided on whether or not we have avoided a triple dip. Well, what are your thoughts on this, and how do you think the sterling will perform on the back of this news?
As a company, we are still concerned about the UK. The main concern that we have from a trading perspective is the ability of the UK to actually grow its way out of trouble. Because austerity on its own isn't enough. They need to implement austerity and then grow, and it's the growth that the UK is having big trouble with at the moment. And when we look at the market and the economy, we don't see any particular ability for them to grow. So when GDP comes out on Thursday, personally, we're expecting that to come out worse than expected by most analysts. We're expecting more negative data from the UK. And what we're doing at the moment, we're actually selling rallies on the pound dollar. Over the last 2 weeks, we've been doing that. As the price rallies, that we've been shorting it. And that's something that we're probably going to continue doing over the next few weeks as well. Now,
let's have a look at Asia. How do you see the yen and Asian markets performing this week? And what will be the main driving factors?
Well, I think obviously the main driving factor of the yen is the monetary policy of the Bank of Japan. They came out a few weeks ago and stated that they're going to implement strong stimulus, which, of course, weakened the yen towards that magical 100 level on the dollar yen, 100 yen to the dollar level. But there was hesitation last week because the G20 were meeting, and everyone was kind of expecting them to kind of criticise Japan and kind of try and get them to stop or at least slow down. But that never happened. Actually, they gave their blessing to Kuroda and his monetary policy plans, which obviously the markets took well. So we're actually expecting the yen to continue weakening. Now, right now, it's just below the 100 level. And because that's such a big psychological level, we expect some kind of hesitation, I should say, around there. If the price hits that level, we do expect it to act as resistance. We do expect it to sell off. But if it can break, we are looking for it to carry on to 110. So ultimately, we're looking for the yen to weaken further. But we do see particularly that 100 level on the US dollar Japanese yen pair as being quite a psychological resistance level first.
And finally, let's look at the US. Now, what type of week do you think it will be, and what type of performance are you expecting to see from the dollar?
Yeah, we've got a few bits coming out, a few announcements. The one I'm looking at is the unemployment data, purely because that's kind of what's really linked to their easing plans. So their monetary stimulus at the moment is linked to employment rates, basically. So any improvement in employment figures, such as the unemployment claims coming out on Thursday, Those kind of things will give us clues as to whether or not the Fed might start scaling back their easing targets. So that's what I'm looking at. Employment one of the big one. There's a few others coming out as well, but that's what we're watching mostly. Now, as an investment or as a trading opportunity, the dollar is pretty much a sounding board against the other currencies at the moment. So what that means is when something like the euro weakens or the pound weakens, that's mostly traded against the dollar. So if the pound weakens, the dollar strengthens, and if there's a little rally on the pound, and of course the dollar will weaken. So there's nothing really, the dollar's not really driving anything at the moment. Everything's kind of stable from the dollar front, but as those employment numbers come out and we get more clues as to how the kind of monetary policies have an impact, I think we'll start to see more movements from the dollar over the coming weeks.
Thank you very much, Jarratt. Well, viewers, that is it for right now, but make sure you stay tuned to Dukascopy TV if you want to know how the markets are moving. But for now, goodbye.